you're having a great day. I have been MIA and I apologize. May turned into just a crazy month and I had a special project to finish up, and quite frankly, I'm just exhausted. So I'm going to do this video to get my special project out in the mail, and I may be MIA for another week or so, but I'll be back then once I get myself together. So anyway, you probably don't even care, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you came to see what's happening. This journal is a special journal. I am doing a swap with my friend Pam at Pandora's Junk Journals. She, of course, will be linked down below. She's an amazing stitcher, an amazing journal maker, and honestly, she's an amazing friend. I love Pam. And Pam has several journals that I've made that she's purchased, and so I wanted to make her something totally different than anything she has. And she asked about doing this swap at the end of last year. It's taken me this long to get myself together. So Pam, once again, thank you so much for understanding. Life has just been crazy, I'm telling you. And speaking of crazy, this journal is kind of crazy. We had discussed what kind of journals, and I really wanted a soft cover journal from Pam because her stitching is exquisite. And so I was selfish and asked for a soft cover. She already had soft cover journals for me, so I decided to make her a hardcover journal and tried to make it, as I said, something that I haven't done for her before. So we agreed on what kind of theme it would have, and you guys know I have a hard time doing a journal that has a theme, but my theme is the state of Maine, the area that I come from. Pam loves Maine, and I think she said she has not been here but wants to come desperately. She may have been once. I don't know if I'm telling the truth. Pam, correct me. But so I did some stuff from around the area where I am, and Pam is going to do some stuff from the area she's from in California. And I'm very excited because I've only been to California once, and I worked the whole time. I didn't see anything. I saw nothing. Work. I saw work. That was it. So let's get started. I thought I'd do a flip through. The book itself is, you guys might remember, I had these for sale for a while. Report of the Treasurer of the State of Maine, 1902. It's this beautiful burgundy color. It's got some nicks and some stains, but it's from 1902. So what are you going to do? I just love this book cover, and I think this is the last one I had. I significantly increased the spine, and this fabric is from a local quilt shop that helped design a line of quilt fabrics with all the flowers that grow in the state of Maine. They also designed a line of all the birds that are found in Maine, but I didn't have any of that left. I looked, Pam. I think you bought it all. So these are called trillium, and they're quite prolific in the woods in Maine. I actually have some in my front yard. So I just love that, and I left the cover just plain because you guys know that's pretty much what I do most often. I just like the look of the book. This little cross-stitch guy was given to me by Erin in the Adirondacks, our friend Hoodie, Erin Klossner, and I love the colors, and I think it's so tiny and cute. I'm not sure if she stitched it or if it's something that she found that she put in this little tiny cute frame, but I thought it was cute, so I pinned it on. I love the colors with the book. Now I have this cinched closed pretty tight, Pam, because she's a fatty. It got away from me. As I said, this book took on a life of its own. I had no control. It's crazy. Okay, so when you open it up, we have these beautiful end papers. It's still pretty stiff. I think ultimately when you mess around with it, it will start lying more flat than it does now, but it's very full and quite stiff. The first page, I made you a jalbum, Pam, a combination of a mini album and a journal because you don't have one of those yet. So it was something different for you. So the first page is right here. The papers I used are some K & Company papers, and I think they are just beautiful. They are old and they don't have any names, so I can't tell you what they're called. I mean, they're old. We're talking more than 10 years, I'm sure. And these open like that. The digital kits I used are from the paper Cameo, And Nicola, you knocked it out of the park with, oh, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, good grief. Flora Ledger's and Cottage style. I will link the kits I use down below. I'm so sorry. Nicola has beautiful kits. So these open up like that. And here is a reproduction of a vintage map of Maine, which I thought was beautiful. So that's just tucked in there in this little pocket. There's more room for other things in there as well. And this is magnetized, so it will stay closed. And then in this side pocket, there's a reproduction of a painting by, oh, I don't know who did the painting. Darn it. I didn't put that on here. But there is a little poem from a Maine author that goes with it. And I'm sorry I didn't put the artist. That was stinky of me. I think I might have realized that earlier. On the other side of that page, here's a piece from our friend Jeannine at J9 Scraps. I just love it. It's on a Victorian photo album page, and she did all the beautiful fussy cutting and everything. And this opens, and it opens like that, and it opens like that. And here's one of the pockets from Nicola's kit. And again, a journaling card from Jeannine at J9 Scraps. Jeannine sells with Johni at the Junk Journal shop, so I will link both of them down below. Now this is one of the album page sections. No, take that back. This is one of the journal sections. And again, it's all Nicola's digitals. Here's some ledger paper. This is from, I believe, a lodge here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This was from a garden company, a gardener, contractor and landscape gardener here in Maine from 1901. And it's just beautiful, the handwriting and everything. Later on in the book, I actually have his business card tucked in one of the pockets. Tim Holtz vellum, just some regular dyed paper, a beautiful doily. Pam strikes me, she's very happy. Not only does she seem very happy, but she makes me feel happy. And so anything that I thought she would like, bright colors, interesting textures, happy things, ended up in this book. And Pam, I rearranged it, I don't know how many times, and it kept getting fatter and fatter and fatter. So I'm really sorry. But there's lots of stuff for you to take out and play with. So this is a very old German page. And this is a shopping bag from a local store here in Maine called Rennie's. And it's kind of like a Big Lots or something, but they call it a Maine Adventure. And it says this bag is especially engineered to hold tons of great Rennie's deals. It's silly, but they are really nice to draw on. The paper is nice and toothy. And so I put that in there because everybody in Maine knows Rennie's. These are some notebooks from 1931. This is a receipt from 1906. The other half is later on. Here's a postcard. This obviously is a more modern postcard of a lobster boat and a dock. And this is in Lubec, Maine. And this little tab, I used the selvage edge from the fabric on the spine. So it has a little picture of the state of Maine. I thought that was kind of cute. And that's just in a glassine bag. And these are the other half. Oh, that's the other half of that ledger page. Here is a very, very old book page. I would say it's rag paper, so it's probably mid-1800s. Here's another one of Nicola's kit pages, and this is Sampler. It's absolutely beautiful, and of course the stitches reminded me of you, Pam. The blues and the greens are so pretty. And this is a current map of Maine, a more modern one. And I didn't want to write on it, but this is, let's see, I'll use your trick and get out my pointer. Let's see, I grew up on Bailey Island, which is right out here. We summered on Monhegan Island, which was here. My parents had a house there. When I moved back to Maine, I raised my kids here in Saco, and now I live way up there in Farmington. So this is called the Mid-Coast of Maine, and this is really where I've spent most of my time. So there you go. There's your Maine history lesson, geography lesson. There's the other half of that book, the other half of that paper, other half of that bag. This is an old, I think, 1950s, maybe 70s neck label from Poland Spring sparkling water. And then inside the tuck spot here, this is a Western hemlock. I bet you have those. There's a journaling card from Nicola's kit and a big beautiful tag that I backed. Oops. And that tucks in behind there. And let's see if I can get that back in there. I'll just leave it sticking up. I'll put it in later. There's the first half of that, or the top half of that receipt, September 25th, 1906, from a furniture company in Lewiston, Maine, which is about 45 minutes from here. Not too far at all. Other side of that notebook page. I better get cracking or we're going to be here for a month. So these are just the other side of all those pages. Other side of the doily here is, this is beautiful paper dyed by Amy at Darkwood Sanctuary. Love this blue color. Reminds me of the sky here. Tim Holtz vellum, and I put the nests and eggs because Pam is a bird girl, and I love how the blue looks through it. Another kit page. It's a sampler, I think. Big, beautiful flowers and roses, just because I love them. Second signature in the journal. Nicola's kit. This beautiful doily that reminds me of a poppy, and I think poppy is the state flower for California. I'm not sure, but I just thought this was so beautiful. This is some lovely letterhead from a company that was right up the road from us in New Vineyard, Maine, and it's just a beautiful letterhead, nice texture, nice color, and it's got the address on it right there. So that's a Maine company. Another one of Nicola's pockets. Here's a vintage postcard, the Brunswick Topsom Bridge, which is just south of here. I went to school in Topsom High School, and we used to have to go over that bridge every day coming up off the island. And when it was icy and snowing, it was really scary. And this is a vintage seal for a pint of blueberries. You know, they put it over the pint and seal it. I just thought it was kind of cool. I was going to sew it in, but I just couldn't put another thing in here. It's so fat. This is a page from a lady's home journal from 1896. Again, I put this in just because I think the paper is so beautiful and it's in such nice condition. More Amy paper, beautiful color. This is a Tim Holtz, what does he call them, baseboard, and I love it. The way I bound it was stupid because you can just barely see Maine in the crease, and I left 1894. I left the plaid because that reminds me of the blankets that they make on the river, or they used to make on the river in the woolen factory. But let me skip to the other side of this so I don't forget. And on this side, I should have done this totally different. Saco River Lumber Company is what they're talking about, and we used to live in Saco. That's where the girls were brought up, Biddeford, Maine. So I think that was kind of cool. Right from the old Tim Holtz himself. This is an envelope that Johnny sent me. The State Normal School here in Farmington, that's what they used to call the college, sent Miss Ella somebody a catalog. And Johnny got this in a lot of something and sent me the catalog and the envelope. So I put the envelope in here. It's kind of beat up, but I just think it's beautiful. I tried to patch it up with some faux vintage tape. And inside there is, oh, I just thought this reminded me of you. More plaid. I don't know why. It's a Christmas card. Hope guides your life and pleasure fill its sails. I just thought it was beautiful. And then it's got the lavender inside. With the compliments of the season. I just thought that was pretty. Oh no, it's heather. Sorry. Thought it was lavender. I think that's beautiful. And then a couple old postcards. A lonesome pine from the Boothbay region of Maine. I love these pictures. And Memorial Library, which is still right there. Looks pretty much just like that in Boothbay Harbor. And I know you like postcards, so I tucked some Maine postcards in. And then just because I'm a weirdo, I put in one of my coffee bags. I know Jean makes coffee, and this is New England coffee. It's not actually made in Maine. I think it's made in Vermont. It's delicious. We love this coffee. And it makes the whole book smell a little bit like coffee. Butter pecan is my favorite at the moment. I don't know why, but I love it. Plus, I just like how this feels. Edith Holden Page, another one of Mr. Blanchfield's Invoices, Bar Harbor, 1901. This is an envelope from the kit that Nicola has. Inside is this beautiful sort of, I think this must be from the 50s, where they kind of hand tinted it and made it look all crazy. And this is Lake Maguntacook in Camden, which is north of here, northeast of here. Doesn't have a date or anything, but it's kind of aged around the edges, and I just love how the colors looked. See, I told you this journal is nuts. And then I have two of these original calling cards that came from a Maine estate. So I thought you might like to use those for something. And you know the deal. Take it apart, rip the pages out, do whatever you like. Use it for something else, whatever. The other half of that Edith Holden page, I just like the colors. Coffee bag. The other half of that envelope. It feels neat. Good old Tim Holtz. More Amy paper. Other half of that lady's home journal. Trying to speed it up here, guys. Other half of that beautiful letterhead in the doily. Nicola's kit. Wonderful places to write. And this is the next album page. So this is tricky. This slides out. These open up. And this is inside the belly band. This is a vintage canned blueberry label. Maine blueberries, Columbia Falls. I believe that factory burned down. So there's plenty of room for other stuff to go in there. But I really had to stop somewhere. You know, this thing's going to explode. So then you can just kind of tuck these back in. Takes a little maneuvering. And then this is just a notepad with some of Nicola's papers and some of the scraps. A little place to write or pieces to tear out to use in the journal. Whatever you like. And then this just slips back under all the parts and pieces. I guess I made this a little more tricky than it had to be, right? But that's how I roll. Here's the card that's in here. This is a Georgia O'Keeffe painting, and there's a quote from Georgia O'Keeffe on the back. She spent quite a few summers in Maine, and I just think this is so beautiful. I know it's hard to see with a glare, but it's there, and I just put a little trim on the edge because I wanted to have stuff sticking out. I didn't do a ton of sewing in here because you've already had sewing from me. Then on the back side of that, this opens like that, and it opens up like that, so there's lots of room for journaling or pictures or whatever you want to do. And I put in some of those neck labels from Poland Spring for you because the colors are awesome. And another old postcard from Christmas Cove, Maine, which I think is really pretty. And doesn't say anything on the back. And I am giving you one of my prized finds. This might be the best thing I ever found picking. It's an envelope addressed just to L.L. Bean, Freeport, Maine, 1931. I'm sure you know the store L.L. Bean. Interestingly, and I'm sure it got there, and if you addressed a letter like this from like Singapore now, I bet it would get there. Well, it wouldn't go to LL because he's no longer with us, but it would go to LL Bean. LL Bean is one of the only stores in the world that has no locks on its door. Did you know that? Because they're open 24/7, they don't even bother to have locks. They, I think, installed them during the pandemic when they actually had to close. That was the first time they had them, but I think they've removed them again now. Because you can go to LL Bean anytime you want to. Sometimes if we have people here visiting for Christmas, we take them at like 2 in the morning on Christmas just for fun. This is an envelope addressed to from a studio in Brunswick, which is down the coast a little bit. And here's a beautiful check from the National Traders Bank in Portland, Maine from 1893. Pretty delicate, but I think it's gorgeous. endorsed and everything. And again, this envelope is fairly banged up, but I just like it. I just like how it looks. There we go. As I said, it's kind of delicate. So there's that. Here is just a super old piece of paper, book page. It has wonderful texture. Look at the delicious water stain. Again, I think I might have gotten this from Johni. This is like a collaboration between all of our friends, Pam. Beautiful hand-painted doily that I think I got from Never Hopeless by Elizabeth. Those look like their colors. Those look like her colors. And I love it with this Florentine paper. I just think this is beautiful. Very springy. This is from a 1960 Lewiston phone book. Again, Lewiston is just right down the road. And I love how this looks with the typing and the weird phone numbers and everything. Beautiful coffee-dyed paper. That is from Michelle at your crafting source. I will link Michelle down below, of course. She's almost always linked. Another Rennie's bag. This is the cover from the State Normal School and Training School in Farmington, Maine, which is where I live. It's now the University of Maine, and this branch is primarily a teaching college. But this was their graduate college, 1864, or graduate catalog, rather. 1864 to 1930. And this is the back of it. It's this beautiful embossed green. It's cardstock. It's really nice, but it's got a little bit of texture. Beautiful. This is a painty paper that I did on a sewing pattern. And of course the sewing made me think of Pam, so I included that. This is a page from a book about Maine. Beautiful water there, a river. This is a photography book and a picture of, I think this is Baxter State Park, with the mountains and the changing foliage and the lake in reflection. I think it's so pretty. So I did get some fall colors in, Pam, other than the running amok thing, you know. And there's another river with the fall colors. Yeah, I don't think I followed your instructions at all, but I swear it's the journal's fault. It's not my fault. This is the back of all those pages. This is a hidden paper clip that I made that is stuck on that page. This is really fragile, but it's super cool. It's from the U.S. Treasury Department, Director, District of Maine, from the IRS. Overpayment, notice of adjustment. Addressed to someone in Saco, Maine, which is where I raise the kids. And I don't see, 1949. So I don't know why it's so falling apart unless they used really cheap paper, but I loved how it looked and where it was from. So I just tucked that in there. I thought that was kind of a big coincidence. And that paper clip's a little tight. And then on this side, it's a pocket, an envelope. No, neither of those things. It's a bag. And there's some fabric and some lace, and I put commemorate on there because we're commemorating our friendship with this lovely swamp. And there's a little card that I stenciled inside, a tag. I don't know my words. And then under the paper clip on this side, I have a vintage label, can label. It's the Portland brand cream style golden sweet corn. And it's like really thin paper. It feels cool. And it's packed by Portland Packing Company, Portland, Maine. It seems like they used to have quite a canning thing going on in Portland. I don't think they do anymore. And the other side of that phone book, Florentine paper, doily, old paper. I love this. Can you see how crooked it runs? I like the really old pages that are like that. Another piece of Edith Holden. I just love the colors. One of Nicola's pockets. I chose this page because of the colors here and because this bird made me think of Pam. I'm not sure what it is. It looks a little... No, it does. I don't know what it is, but I bet Pam does. And the colors of this pocket just go with it beautifully. So, this is from Nicola's kit. In here we have... Oh, dear. I thought I glued it in. This is a deed of gift from 1938. But this is from California, and that made me laugh. Pam, is Sacramento near you? Yeah, the County of Sacramento, 1938. So it's a deed. And look how cool it is. It is really fragile. But it's got all these cool stains on it, and it's got a seal on it. And I just thought it was super neat. Signatures. I don't know. I really liked it, and I thought it was cool that it was from California. So there you go. I'm sending some of California back to you. And there are pieces that stick up all over out the top and all out the sides. This thing is a crazy mess. It's a crazy journal, Pam. Here's another journal section. This is the last journal. There are 4 signatures. I have no idea how many pages. Bunches. Too many. So this is Nicola's kit. This is an 1831 newspaper called The Friend, a religious and literary journal. It's published by Quakers, which is what my family is. We are Quakers. So I thought that was really neat. I think it's beautiful paper. And so I put that in there for you because I thought you might think that was interesting. Very interesting. More Edith Holden with some autumn colors. More Eggies. And more phone book just because I love that paper. Here's the other half of the graduate catalog from the Farmington State Normal and Training School. The college campus is not even a block from our house. There's students all over the place here. It's lousy with students. This is some more dyed paper that came from Amy, but it was actually gifted to me by Sweet Danielle. Jose, as we call her. Pocket from Nicola's kit with a little butterfly. This is a very old label, extract of lemon. This is a Poland Spring bottle label, or Poland Spring water label, that I'm guessing is from the mid-70s. And I think it was sometime at the end of the 70s when they renamed it Poland Spring water. So this is an old one. Is there anything on here that says it? Since 1845. Oh, wait. The analysis was done by somebody, Northeast Laboratory Services, in 1977. So that would tell you about when those are. These, however, are actually authentic, original labels from when they first started bottling the water back in the 1800s. So I put one in for you, and then I put in a couple more to share if you just want to hoard one or a couple. You'll still have a couple to use. So that's what's in this pocket. I know, it's crazy. And I like the colors of these with the colors in the pocket. I don't think that actually was a pocket. I think I used a page from the kit. More of that beautiful letterhead from New Vineyard. This was a Canadian National Railway System envelope that I very cleverly bound in upside down. Go me! No way I could fix that. I'm sorry. Inside is a little tiny autograph book from 1934 from a school here in Maine. Can't remember where it was. Mechanic Falls. So it's very cute. Again, very fragile. It's not very good quality paper. But look at the sweet little bow. It's all mashed. It looks like someone made it by hand. And I just think it's sweet. So that's just tucked in this envelope. That'd be fun to take apart and use for tags or something. Here is a Weather Bureau map, which I love. On the other side, it's a pull-out. Some shorthand, because I love shorthand. And I think it looks cool. Some more photos. These are the kind of ledge rocks we have here in Maine. And then this is a very typical scene down on the coast. Lots of docks, some dinghies, a little frame house. This is like where the normal people live. Not where, like where the Bush family has their summer home. That's a little fancier. This one is on Mount Desert Island, which is the easternmost point of the U.S. Beautiful up there. It's just beautiful. And some more shorthand. There's the other half of that weather map. Whoops. Static. Oh no, I glued it. I went glue crazy. And there is another one of Nicola's cool basket pockets. I think that is so cute. And there is Mr. Blanchfield's business card. Isn't that funny? It's huge. He was doing some mathin' on the back. I thought that was really neat. And did we already look in here? Oh, nope, just tucked a few more labels in there. Didn't realize I put them in 2 places. Rip off. Other side of that. Oh, more proof that this is indeed in there upside down. Other side of the letterhead. That beautiful coral paper. This is the other half of the front page of that catalog. The Farmington Normal School. This building is about 2 blocks from us, and it kind of looks exactly the same. This is a picture from engraving from 1865. You see this image all over Farmington. All kinds of businesses have it and everything. And there's the rest of that phone book. And Edith Holden. The other side of that Friend magazine, newspaper, whatever. Nicholas Kit, which I just love. And here's a Carol Laws waterfall. She's so clever. So this is a picture of Baxter State Park, which is north of here. Oh, you can't see that. The glare is terrible. There we go. I think you can see it. There are the mountains. There's the tree line with the autumn colors. And there's the ocean. So this guy flaps up and you've got all this. This flaps up and you've got all this. This flaps up and you've got all this. But then when they lay down, you get that solid picture. And that, of course, is a brilliant idea from Carol Laws, who also will be linked down below. I better start writing these down. And there's a pocket next to that waterfall. This is, I thought it was a blotter, but it's not blue on the back, so I'm not sure. But it has that watercolor feeling. And it's the Hartford Fire Insurance Company, but it was from the company's branch that was here in Farmington, Maine. And I think this is probably mid-century. And then here's just a beautiful piece of the kit from Nicola. Oh, look, it's the same as that. Well, there you go. I guess I like that image. And they just tuck right in that pocket. And I had this one in there because I liked the blue and I liked how the stag looked. He looks very dramatic. And here's the painting that's in there. This is the Piscataqua River, which separates Maine and New Hampshire. There is now a bridge that goes over, and there, I just think this is a beautiful painting. And E.B. White wrote, "What happens to me when I cross the Piscataqua and plunge rapidly into Maine at a cost of 75 cents in tolls? I cannot describe it. I do not ordinarily spy a partridge in a pear tree or 3 French hens, but I do have the sensation of having received a gift from a true love." 1979. And that's kind of how I feel about Maine, too. I love it here, and this is really symbolic. In the middle of the bridge, there's a sign that says, "Welcome to the state of Maine." And our tradition has always been you have to honk your horn when you pass that sign coming back to Maine. So I thought that was really cool. And E.B. White lived the last part of his life here in Maine, a little north of here. So that's in that pocket. Did I get it in the pocket? I think I did. And this is the very last page of the album section. And this flips up. Got a little butterfly there. That's another Jeannine Scraps Fussy Cut Wonder. And this one comes all the way down. So you've got... Oh, I didn't get that in the right place. You've got all this space to journal. There's a pocket here that flips. This is a lupin, which was in Nicola's kit. And these are all over the place in Maine. They grow wild. They're very invasive, but they're beautiful. They have about taken over my vegetable garden. They're starting to kind of chap my backside. But there is a tag in there as well with a little bit of gold and cream baker's twine. And let's see, this is just a little thing, a description about the state of Maine. And there is your fall, Pam. That was the falliest fall I could get. And it really does look like that here. And that's just tucked in the back here too. So that is your journal, Pam. I hope you love it. I had a wonderful time thinking about you while I was making it, trying to put in things that you would find interesting and fun to have. And I really appreciate you asking me to do this swap. It was a hoot. I am sending a couple other things in your box, and I'll just show them real quickly so that when you open it, you won't think again that I'm just a lunatic. Well, I am, but there you go. Here are a few. These are vintage, but I mean not old, but I would say like 80s. One of them is a postcard that says "Talk in Maine." must for all tourists. So these are some funny phrases that people think Maine people say. And then some Maine lighthouse trivia. And this is the Portland Headlight, which is a very famous lighthouse not too far down the coast from here. And I thought it was really pretty. This is a whole wild assortment of things. This is a very, very, I would say 1800s old christening gown. And it's just beautiful. It's very delicate. It's very stained. It's the fabric is starting to shatter in some places. And I've been hoarding it, thinking I was going to do some slow stitch magic on it. And I just haven't. And I thought I would pass it on to you, my darling friend, because you have a magic needle, and I bet you can do something super cool with this. So that's in there. And randomly, this is in there because I had slow stitched this to go on the cover of a journal and forgot about it and pulled it out the other day, and I was like, wow, look, fall colors. Pam can use this. There's a little funny bunching up in this corner. I'm not sure what happened, and you can see all my wretched stitching, but you know, if you back it on something, it won't be so bad. So I thought you might think that was fun to have. The stamp is stitched on and everything, and there's some bead clusters and some antique buttons. So hopefully you'll like that. I think the colors are really pretty. And what else do we have in here? I got you a lobster tea towel because everyone needs tea towels. It's really heavy linen and it's just beautiful. This is to remind you of our swap. And if you don't want to use it as a tea towel in your kitchen, well then cut it up for slow stitching. But you had to have something with lobsters on it. And then I just put in some little bits and pieces of things. Here are some 3-cent stamps that are still on the envelopes. I think they make really cute tuck spots. Ooh, here's an airmail one. Wow, it's gunked up, but it's pretty interesting looking. So I tucked those in there. And randomly, I found this and thought it was neat. Here's news from your American Airlines flagship crew. And it's a flight report from 1948. So that has nothing to do with anything. I just thought it was fun. Here are a couple photo postcard things. That's actually not a postcard. That is a photo of Westminster Abbey. Look at that handwriting. Wow. And I know that you like British things. There's the changing of the guard. That looks like sort of a postcard, like a tourist photo that you can buy. And another one like that. I just found these in a lot of things I bought, and I thought you might enjoy them. This is a vintage card. Pure friendship. Isn't that so sweet? I thought it was so cute. It is a little grungy. It's pretty old, and I think someone had it stuck on their wall. But I thought it was beautiful. And here's another little postcard. German, maybe? Again, a little torn up, but it's pretty old. Now this, I don't even know what this is, but I think it's cool. It's very heavy. It's some kind of engraving plate, I think. And I think that's the mountains of Maine with the ocean and the trees. That might be Baxter State Park, but it weighs quite a lot. It's metal. I just thought it was really interesting. So I didn't know if you could think of something to do with it or use it as a doorstop. But it was Maine-like, so I put it in with your things because I did. And then this again was from California, and I thought it was neat. Very cool old envelope. Pretty fragile, pretty broken up. But it's from the Palmolive and Crystal White Company. And it has a coin that you could redeem for 2 cakes of Palmolive soap for the price of 1. And that's, again, a little bit heavy, but I thought it was kind of neat. And I thought it was fun that it was from California. Auburn, California, from Berkeley, California. So that's not everything that's in there, but those are the things that I felt like I would explain to you so you wouldn't think I was a Looney Tune. And again, I want to thank you, Pam. This has been so much fun. I hope that you love your journal, and I can't wait to see what you made me. I know it's going to be amazing. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me. If you liked what you saw, go hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, I'll be back as soon as I can be. It'll probably be a couple days before I get back into another video. Just need to rest and recuperate for a bit. I'll talk to everyone really soon. Thanks.